Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to sunny Lanzarote. It's not that sunny at the moment because it's the middle of the night, but welcome to our Zoom call, a Wealth Warriors Zoom presentation on a Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. UK time, and as it turns out, 10 p.m. Lanzarote time, which I'm excited about. So we're going to talk through some stuff today. Our Wednesday presentation is all about the different platforms that we've adopted, and a few that we're looking at possibly if we've got time. And then there'll be a question and answer session at the end. Hopefully the whole thing will take less than an hour, and at the end of that you'll know everything I know. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. And what is Wealth Warriors? This presentation isn't really about Wealth Warriors, who we are, what we do, our philosophy, why we exist, what we try to do, and so on. There's a presentation on a Sunday evening, so you can go to my YouTube channel, find the presentation, the same channel that this video is on, find that same channel and find any Zoom call on Sunday evening, and that will explain the philosophy of Wealth Warriors and why we're doing what we're doing. This isn't really a suitable presentation to give out to brand new people who don't know anything about Wealth Warriors. Love the hat, Chris. Good shot, good call. A Homburg, is it, I believe? Yeah, so this isn't suitable for sharing with people who don't know anything about Wealth Warriors. Avoid doing that. So welcome those of you that are on the call. I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me. And those of you watching by video, I appreciate you guys as well. But I don't normally ask this, but it would actually be quite good to, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like and a thumbs up, and you haven't got to subscribe to the channel, you can if you want to, but it just helps this message get out there. YouTube's been playing some silly games with some other people who do a similar thing to me, putting videos out to their community. So I wouldn't want that to happen to us. Okay. That's it. The reason I've turned my video off is I don't have brilliant internet where I am. Somebody suggested turning the video off, and we can, hopefully that'll help with the bandwidth. We shall see. I'm not entirely convinced, but we shall see. So I'm going to go over to a standard presentation, a presentation on PowerPoint. As you know, I like PowerPoint because it means that I can keep things straight in my head. I get everything said that I want to say, and I don't have to worry about forgetting things or anything like that. So you can now see my application, apparently, according to Zoom. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. That's exactly how I see us. I see there's an array of forces marshaled against us. Some deliberate, some not even deliberate. They just don't know what they're doing. They're doing what they've always done. They're doing what they've been trained to do, what they've been taught to do. And now I'm talking about people in general who work in banks and in government. They don't really know why they're following the policies, but they are. But the policies that they follow are designed to keep us, I want to say the word in slavery, but I know that's got all sorts of connotations. By slavery, I mean you're working hard and somebody else is receiving all the benefits of your work. Okay, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying put people in pens and whip them and things like that. I'm saying you are working very, very hard to give all your money to somebody else. And I'd suggest you don't get value for money in return. Okay, well, that money could be, someone else could be financial institutions, it could be governments, okay, it could be some other organizations who we don't even know who they are. If you look through the list of places where your government sends money, you'd be amazed at the places they send your money, okay, and that's what you're working hard to support, most of which you don't actually support in your heart, but you do support with your hard-earned cash, so well done for that. So what we're trying to do is to mitigate against that. We're trying to fight against that. And it's hard to fight an unseen enemy. But what we do know is that there are some solutions that mean we can start working towards having a life where we're in control. We do the things that we want with our own lives. And nobody else can tell us what to do. Nobody else can force us to do things we don't want to do. So that's what Wealth Warriors is about. And that's how I see us as freedom fighters. And sorry, the screen there with the mountain with the sun on the summit there, that's kind of meant to represent our glorious future. You know, it's not going to be, it is an uphill struggle. It's not going to be easy, but when we get to the top there, the view is worth it. The clean air, the clean living, the free living is worth it when we get there. So don't give up hope. Just keep working one step at a time. it's an uphill struggle, but you will get there as long as you don't stop. There is a poem called Don't Quit, which I absolutely love. That's one of the first motivational poems I ever read. And all it's about really is just keep putting one foot in front of another, and you will get to the top eventually. So listen, nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform. We're a community. But we do talk about, we do use investment platforms and other types of platforms in order to make money. So if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose and to carry out your own due diligence. It's a strange thing to say, I'm going to get into this venture, but I'm preparing myself to lose it all. Okay, and that's not really the case. It's just a measure of how much money you're going to invest in each of these different platforms. If by investing that much money and you were to lose it, if that platform were to fail or be, just be so mismanaged it doesn't work anymore, if you were to lose that money, if it causes you to become bankrupt, to be able to not make your mortgage payments, to be able to not feed your kids, if your wife would leave you or your husband would leave you because you lost that much money again, okay, then it's too much. You don't need to put that much money in. There's this mindset in this industry where you've got to get in early, put in as much money as you can, and make your money as quickly as you can and get out before the whole thing collapses. Okay, people, that's an absolute disaster. You can't build your life on something like that. You just can't, because even if you succeed on one or two platforms, the next platform that comes along will just walk away with all your money. So that's not a great business model. We have a much better business model, but don't put money in that you can't afford to lose. It's as simple as that. Now, you know that we have several different platforms. So we don't just choose them at random. It's not the first 3 or 4 platforms that come across my desk and I say, that looks good, that looks shiny. I know this person. Oh, I trust this person. Okay, none of that comes into it. It's not a personal decision whether we get involved or not. It's all based on facts, as much as I can, as much as we can. So we have some criteria. We have some, and by criteria, they're unchanging. We don't say, well, this platform we like it because it's working with this, so we like it. And I don't like this platform. I don't like my upline in this other platform, so we're not going to do it. It's nothing to do with that. I'm quite happy to work with people I don't like and don't respect if the platform is suitable for us as a community. So the criteria, the platform must be available in the whole world, so not excluded anywhere, because we're trying to build lines of sponsorship. We're trying to maintain the community as we build. And if we try to adopt a platform that isn't available to everyone in our team, then it won't work. We won't be able to maintain that commitment. Or sorry, that community. It must have a unilevel compensation plan for exactly the same reason. And people must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for very low entry cost. $100, $200. If it's much more than that, then we will have some of our team saying, it's too much, I can't get involved, and that would then break our lines of sponsorship. Although there are strategies we can follow, there's help that we can give to help people in those situations. Okay, so it's not the end of the world, but where possible, we want to avoid putting a lot of money in the first place. Because 1, 2, and 3, if we can combine 1, 2, and 3, it means we can maintain the lines of sponsorship, and that's the most important thing to us. The platform must be based on real-world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. And people often ask me, what do I mean by a money game or a shell game? And then I can show them some platforms that they've gotten involved with in the past, and they realize exactly what a money game is, where people take the money off of brand new people to give to existing people, the old people, if you like. And that's a Ponzi scheme. That particular description is a Ponzi scheme, but that's a money game. And the shell game is where the money sort of disappears into the ether. You don't really know what they're doing with it. They just keep giving you back the money they've promised to earn you, but you've got no guarantee that that's going to continue because you've got no guarantee of what they're doing to make the money. Well, thank you very much. We don't trust that situation. If a business is legal, ethical, moral, and above board, then they would have no problem sharing with us what they're doing to make the money. Okay, it's as simple as that. And if they don't, then you've got to ask yourself why. What are they hiding? And we don't need to get the answer to that. All we need to say is, well, we're not playing them. We're not going to do that. So if there's a company involved, and there isn't always, sometimes it's smart contracts or things like that. I did hear tell of a trading bot a while ago that apparently is being disavowed by the people that made it. In other words, nobody's in control of it. It's just out there doing its own thing. You can register. There's no humans involved. When we investigated that, of course, it turned out to not be true. There are people involved with the trading bot. They've not disavowed it at all, and they actually make profit from it. So, you can't believe everything you read, I guess. But we need, if there is a company, we need to be able to verify the legal status and its business activities, the startup capital, the repute of the management, just all the things. If you were going to buy a company, you want to know everything about that company. Well, put it in that context. We're going to buy into a company, so we're going to give them some of our money, and we want to work with them for a long time. So we want to make sure, are they still going to be around in a few years' time? Okay, and if the answer is I'm not sure or no, then we don't do it. We don't have to do anything we don't want to do. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. The membership, sorry, I say that because so many businesses actually fail because what started off as a viable compensation plan turned out not to be when the whole project was scaled up, or they had to adjust to take into account certain regulations in different parts of the world, this sort of thing. Different things happened, and all of a sudden that compensation plan was no longer sustainable. So where we can spot that, and we avoid it. And all of our members must be able to get behind the project. If you imagine some of your friends who are in your community, you bring them in and they're members of your church, for example, or they're members of some sort of charity organization. So they don't want money going to efforts of things that are against what they're doing. For example, supporting people that are bringing people across borders of countries illegally, or money lending, or gambling, or all sorts of different things that you might be fine with, but some of your people might not like. Well, if there's any sign of that, then we just don't do it. I'm not going to condemn that business. I'm just going to say it's not for our community. We need everybody to be able to get involved with it. Okay, coffee gone. We can stop worrying about that. So at the moment, we have 5 adopted platforms. It looks like one is on the way out. We'll talk about that a bit later. We may or may not. It may or may not be on the way out. And then we're looking at another one that's going to launch in January. We're preparing now to get involved with that. So we're trying to find out a little bit more about that, meet the owners of the company and so on, which I hope to do. I've been hoping to do actually for a couple of weeks now. I'm not going to be able to manage it. I wouldn't have thought while I'm away on holiday, but who knows? Through the magic of the internet, who knows what's going to happen. So the first one, I've left the name there as Matrix Freedom because I don't think I've sort of warned everybody enough that the name of Matrix Freedom is changing to the Republic of Old Souls. Okay, it's going to be exactly the same thing. They've restructured some of the offerings in the back office, put it into groups of offerings, put it under different titles. But basically, it's exactly the same thing that we've been working with for the last couple of years or so. But in future presentations, it will be the Matrix. It'll be the Republic of Old Souls. I just haven't changed it yet. Like I said, I don't think I'd explained it enough. So who are they? What do they do? Well, there are 2 things. In fact, I'm going to change this as well because they haven't now done this. What's happened is we've now got 6 different protocols. And so I'll change this to explain a little bit more about the different protocols we have. So under some of the protocols, we deal with the financial aspects of the system, how you can make money by being involved with with Republic of Old Souls. And the other one is the other elements, the other protocols, if you like, are to do with how you can become free from the control of governments and other agencies. Okay, so you literally become an individual person, a citizen of the universe, not affiliated to any government anywhere in the world. You are your own entity. In effect, if you want to be pedantic about it, you become your own country, and you have diplomatic status with all the other countries in the world. So they're the two different sides, if you like, but they are split into these different protocols, which I will update my slides for next week. So you sign up as a member and you can sign up for free. There are four different levels so you can register. One is as a member, that's free. When you actually decide you want to take on one of the services, you have to pay for it up front. And when you do that, you become a paid member. You have a different login and you log into a different part of the platform. If you decide you want to introduce people, you ask to become an affiliate. And an affiliate has a separate login. You have different information in the back office. And if you, as an affiliate, you decide you want to introduce other affiliates, you become, sorry, they're not affiliates. I apologize. They're advocates. When I said affiliate just now, I read the word advocate. So if you're an advocate and you want to introduce other advocates, then you become an advocate originator, and you get a different login again, and you've got access to other parts of the platform. The most You'll spend most of your time either as a free member, or once you have paid for something, you'll be interested in what's happening in your paid member part of the platform. Simply because that's where you track all of the different ways they're making money for you, or recouping money for you. So you sign up as a member for free. There is a huge amount of information available to you to read some PDF documents or some ebooks, to watch lots and lots of different webinars, and they're organized in a system that will take you from step one through to being competent to engage with this process. It's not the sort of thing where they're going to do things for you. They're going to teach you how you can do the things for yourself, but they will also facilitate. They will make the documents available for you to complete and sign. Okay, you won't need to invent your own documents, but they can't be seen to be doing it for you, simply because that invokes a whole different level of regulation that you and they just don't want to get involved with. So they're not providing anything for you except the education for you to be able to do it for yourself. You can enroll as a member. So once you're enrolled as a member, you can then select the different protocols that you want to get involved with. Okay, so it says one or other of these strands is actually 6 different protocols. You can register for any or all of them. Being in any of those protocols doesn't take away from your ability to be an advocate or an advocate organizer. So I'm going to still, even though the wording, the titles of these sections have changed, like I said, all they've done is reorganize things. So this is still valid. You can recoup your checking account. In the UK, we call that a current account. Outgoings for 2022, 2023, and 2024. And in January, you won't be able to claim for 2022 anymore. In fact, the cutoff point for that in the year is somewhere around about August, because the paperwork can't be processed. If you submit it later than August, it can't be processed in time, and we only get 3 years to do this. So in January, you'll be able to start the process for 2025, but you won't have access to 2022. So you've missed, if you haven't done that already, you've missed that. But you can still do 2023, 2024, and like I say, in January, you can start 2025. And what that means is any money that left your bank account, for example, in 2022, any money that left your bank account for whatever reason, you can recoup that and get that sent back to you. And it might be that you took the money out of your bank account to go on holiday, buy a car, pay your mortgage, buy some food, give it as a birthday gift to somebody. It doesn't matter why it left your account. You could have even paid your taxes. You could have even paid your money from that bank account into another bank account and then back again. Okay, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter the reason, it left your bank account, you can then recoup that in the future. So you have to pay for this. As I said before, these are all paid services. So once you've decided what you want, then it costs you £1,000, British pounds, per personal account, £2,000 per business account. And keep a lookout, keep an eye, keep going to the webinars that they'll invite you to when you sign up as a member, because they do special offers on these once in a while. They'll do, for example, both of those for $1,500, £1,500, for example. One person or one business, £1,500, or they might do them at half price for 2 months. Okay, and being totally honest, the reason they want to do that is because they have a huge amount of outgoing, and they might say, we want to get this much revenue in the next month. So for the next month, anybody who signs up for this, we're going to give them a discount. Just give us your money, please. Okay, perfectly sensible way to run a business. Lots of businesses do that, and we're just being upfront about that. The reason they give special offers is because they'd like they'd like you to pay for it now, not wait another 6 months. You can also discharge your mortgages. So if you have a mortgage, you can get that settled. You can settle your loans. You can pay back your taxes, all sorts of debts. Okay, through understanding what you're doing, following the process, filling in the forms, getting it all submitted, and all of those things will be settled. You can create new currency for whatever reason. The typical one would be to acquire a property, but you may have property or you may not want a property. Okay, but you can also acquire a new car, or sorry, it could actually be for anything. You could say, I want a holiday. You could say, for example, this year I want to, or next year, it's November now, coming up to the end of November, you might say, well, next year I need $250,000 to live. Okay. So you do that, make a claim for $250,000, which if you were to do it now, should come in April, May time next year, maybe. And so you get your $250,000 and you put it in your bank. And when you start spending it from the bank next year, you can recoup it from your bank account because it went out. It went out from your bank account. You can recoup that. But also the following year, you might say, I need another $250,000 to live. So you create another $250,000. You don't have to give a reason why you want to create it. It's your money. You have the right to do that. Once you make money in this way, the last thing you want to do is to allow the government or financial institutions that you've just escaped from to get their hooks into your money. So what you can do is put all of your assets, your new property, your new car, your yacht, your helicopter, or your money into a private trust. Now, the thing most people don't like about private trust is if you do that, you now don't own any of it. But if you set up your trust properly, and I suggest you set your trust up properly, they'll teach you how to do that, you will have access to all of that. You'll have all of the control, you'll have all of the benefits of it with none of the downside. And if something were to happen, then let's suppose, for example, the property you were to pass, let's suppose you became deceased, and that property now is going to pass to your children. No, rewind. The position you're in now, you have a property and you become deceased, that property passes to your children. In most countries in the world, they would have to pay the 40% inheritance tax before they can actually get hold of the property to sell it. Even in those countries where that's not the case, they would still have to pay the 40% inheritance tax, even after they've taken possession of the property. Okay, when you put things like that into a trust, it's not your property, and it's not being passed to them. It stays in the private trust. The only difference is you've got the right to use that property. That right then can be transferred to your children. They have the right to use that property. There's no tax because the property hasn't changed hands. So it's not only property, it could be your Picassos you've got hiding in the attic, it could be your Rolls Royce you've always wanted all your life and eventually got one. It could just be family heirlooms. Okay, they're all protected in a private trust. And then, of course, I mentioned just now, you create new currency as much as you want to live a life of abundance. So part of the protocols now involve correcting your status and standing. This is how we get free from the matrix. We get free from the controlling influences in the world that literally they run the whole world. But we don't want to be run like that. Thank you very much. So we're getting out. You can rescind all unlawful contracts and replace with lawful contracts. So once you've corrected your status and standing, you don't want to then keep operating as the person you were. For example, you've got a mobile phone contract as the person you are now. Okay. You don't want that anymore. You want to have that contract in the name of the person you become, the free person, not the slave person that you are at the moment. So you would rescind all of those unlawful contracts, and then you would take out the new contracts in your new situation. So they would teach you how to do all that. You set up a private trust without being enjoined to the control matrix and transfer the allodial title of all your assets to your private trust. The allodial title is the real nuts and bolts. You own it. If you have a property now, if you own a property and it's registered to your government, you don't own that property. You're just using it. They're allowing you to use it. And you say, well, I paid for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They own the property. It's registered to them. They own your vehicle if it's registered to the DMV, or in the UK, the DVLA, or different government departments elsewhere in the world. You don't own that vehicle. In the UK, you're just the registered keeper. In some cases, some countries, you're the authorized driver, for example. So you don't actually own anything. It's all registered to the government. It's actually registered to the Crown. And I say the Crown, it's not, the Crown isn't necessarily the Crown of the UK, the Crown of England. Okay, it's a corporation called the Crown. And the Crown owns all of the other corporations, such as the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Russia. Okay, all of it is owned by the Crown. And so the Crown owns everything, literally everything in the world, apart from what's in private trusts. And you can bet your bottom dollar that the wealthy people in the world have all of their assets in private trusts. You can just bet your bottom dollar. And then you can engage with the Old Souls Nation Foundation to assure your protection and your sovereignty, and they'll set you up with uh, um, a lawful passport that you can travel around the world. So what do I say? Diplomatic immunity, a driving license, not registered to your country, but registered to your own nation. And yeah, that's what I was just saying. You become an ambassador. Sorry, you become an advocate. That's partly why they've changed it now. So my bank recruitment for 2022 looks like this. We're just waiting for this last thing here, the funds to be received from the IRS. The IRS say that it's going to take between 45 and 60 days for the money to be deposited into my, well, to be paid to my trustee. My trustee lives in America. Recently, a couple of days ago, my 2023 bank payment recoupment arrived in the same situation. Filing to is complete. The funds are just waiting to be transferred. So as I said, yeah, the IRS have said 45 to 60 days, but of course there's been a government shutdown. And also, just because that's what they say, governments say one thing and very often do another. So although they said it's 45 to 90 days, it's actually been about, I think it's been over 90 days now. So I don't know why. It could just be their policy. It could just be, it could have been a function of the shutdown. Who knows? But I'll let you know when it's there. I promise you, I will let you know. So this is the new terminology. So the bank payment recoupments now are part of the infinite money protocol. I am free is now called the mortgage liberation protocol. The Republic of Old Souls is the envoy protocol. Mortgage recoupment is the mortgage redemption protocol. And this is, so the difference is the mortgage liberation is settling mortgages you have outstanding. The mortgage recoupment is claiming back, sorry, forget the word claiming, it's recouping mortgages that were set up in the past. The private trust is now the asset fortress protocol, and the currency creation is the currency creation protocol. So that's the new terminology we're going to be using from next week going forward. So the second platform we have that I'm not going to talk about is BitHarvest. And the reason I'm not going to talk about it is because we don't know what's happening. As soon as we know, I will let you know. If I know in time for next week's presentation, then I'll put some more slides up and we'll talk about it. But right now, BitHarvest is in a little bit of a limbo. Um, and we're not quite sure what's happening. We're prepared for everything. There's nothing we can do anyway. We're kind of in their hands. They're going to do whatever they decide to do, and we'll either get some benefit in the future or we won't. So, like I say, there's nothing we can do. So it's pointless spending time talking about it. The third platform is called BitNex. I just want to touch on the fact this used to be called Cryptex. And lots of people have asked why the change of name. And the reason for the change of name is if you look up Cryptex, there are dozens of companies, or have been over the years, dozens of companies called Cryptex. Some of them ended up with bad publicity, and all of a sudden we've been tarred with the same brush. So last month they decided, or the month before, they decided to change it from Cryptex to BitNex. So, but I mention it because you may be listening to this thinking, I've never heard of BitNex, but when I say it used to be called Cryptex, then you can say, oh yeah, so yeah, we talked about that before. Or not, maybe, who knows. So BitNex is a crypto investment company. It's in Singapore and in the Cayman Islands. It's been around since 2018, so that's 8 years now. Many people have made a lot of money with BitNex. There's videos all over YouTube and in different websites and different chat groups and so on. People withdrawing $500,000 here, hundreds of thousands of dollars there. Okay, so there's and screenshots and all sorts of things. In the standard presentation, there are plenty of screenshots. When you register, you can create a landing page just by simply swapping out your part of the link to point to your account. Okay, and within that landing page, there are videos of people withdrawing money. Okay, $400,000 and so on. So many people have made a lot of money. So how does it work? Well, you pay a setup fee. You can buy a contract for $100, or on two of the different setups, you can buy a pack of 15 contracts for $1,000. So you buy 10, you get 5 free. So what I like about that is that's an immediate 50% uplift. On day one, the second you buy it, you've got a 50% increase in your money. So I don't see that in very many things at all. The setup fee is used to set up the contract, and the contract does a few things. One is it loans money from a bank, and the second thing is it sets up an insurance company. Now, let me just see where I want to talk about something, but I don't want to cover it if it's already in the slides here. So what the smart contract does then is it takes that loan money and it invests it into a staking. So it's not the same as staking that you would normally do if you went to your Binance account or your Coinbase account and you say, right, I want to use this staking facility. You put $1,000 in and they're going to stake it for you. Then you would make 0.05% per day, whatever it is. So you'll make that much money based on your $1,000. If you do this, if you put $100 in here, you won't be staking that $100. You'll be staking the 30,000 or the 43,000, depending which contract you take out. So that's why, even though you only get a very small percentage for staking, it's worth doing because you're staking a very large amount of money. So profits are made every day from the money you've loaned, and the profits are used to pay the insurance premium every month, and every year you have then settle up the bank interest. At the end of the contract, the loan is repaid. Whatever's left is what you walk away with. So there are 6 different contracts. The DeFi Hybrid 24 and the DeFi Hybrid 24 pack runs for 24 months, so that's 2 years. The DeFi Hybrid 36 and the DeFi Hybrid 36 pack run for 36 months, so that's 3 years. The DeFi Hybrid 60 runs for 60 months, which is 5 years. And the DeFi Hybrid 84 runs for 84 months, which is 7 years. So you see, you can get these packs on these smaller contracts, but you can't get them on the larger contracts. They're just not there. So effectively, you've got 6 different options. So you can see in the right-hand side there that the 2-year contract on your $100 you get 21,000. On your pack of those contracts, you get 320,000. On your 36-month contract, you get 35,000. On your 3-year contract pack, you get over 500,000. Your 5-year contract, you get nearly 500,000. And your 7-year contract, you get almost $1.5 million. So I'm not going to convince you of any of this. I do some wonderful videos that show you the more details, the workings of this. They're available on the YouTube channel. Feel free to go and look at them. The mechanics behind it is really, really clever, and it's all driven by a smart contract, which is written on the blockchain, which cannot then be altered. And somebody said, well, what would happen? So the plan is you wait for the contract to mature. When it matures, all of the money is paid back to the bank. You walk away with what's left. You've been paying all the costs and charges from your profit. So literally, you put $100 in, and you walk away for 2 years, and come back and walk away with 21,000. And somebody said, well, what happened if all of a sudden this was outlawed? For example, the government said, no, this isn't. It's not profitable, or sorry, it's not something we like to see. So we're going to close it all down. Well, on that day that the contract stops, the smart contract stops, the bank money gets repaid, or the outstanding interest gets paid to the bank, and whatever's left, you walk away with. It's not like a lot of things where if it stops halfway through, you've lost everything. Okay, if it stops halfway through, you've still made some profit, because that's just the way the contract works. We're not in this, we're in this to make money, not to give all the money away. So this is what happened to me. I got started with $100, reluctantly, to be honest. I didn't understand this. I didn't really investigate it that much. I didn't like smart contracts at the time because I didn't understand them that much. And I'm used to investigating companies to find out if they're legitimate and doing what they're supposed to do. So how do you do that with a smart contract? It's kind of difficult, and I didn't like it. So I signed up really just to shut somebody up. Sorry if you're listening, I apologize, but it's true. And about a year later, I started looking into it a bit more, and I thought, this is crazy. I should have done a lot more than 100. And I honestly believe that almost everyone who eventually gets involved with this, they will all say, I wish I'd done more sooner. I wish I'd investigated sooner. I wish I got started with more money. I wish I'd just taken it on faith. And that's what I did, is with $100, I took it on faith, because I'm thinking, well, if I get $35,000, if there's potential to get $35,000 out, and it's only going to cost me $100 to find out, I'd be crazy not to. I'm not going to say you'd be crazy not to, but you know what I'm thinking. Okay, so no, sorry, don't let me coerce you in any way. That's what I was thinking. I'd be crazy not to do it if it's only costing $100. So, like I say, after a year, I started looking into it a lot more. I really wished I'd got started and done more than just $100. So my first contract after 20, in fact, that's 27 months now, is 100. Well, I started with $100. It's now worth $20,000, and it's earning $43 a day. So I only started with $100, and every day now I'm making $43 profit, 5 days a week, I believe. Sorry, now I'm getting confused. 7 days a week, earning $43, and you can see from this printout here that I started with $100. My staking balance now is 51,000. So 30,240 was the loan that I borrowed. The other 20,000 is the profit that's been built up over the last year and 3 months. And there I made $43 profit, just today. This is a breakdown of all the different stats about the contract. You can see everything there, how long it's been running, or how long it was when it first was taken out. The monthly fee for the assurance and the handling fee, the loan interest per year, everything, the start date, the end date. On the back office, you can now scroll below this page and you can see different indicators of how long it's got, what level of profit you've made so far, and then further down you can see your profit on a day-by-day basis, how much profit you made every single day. You can't see that on these slides because this is just a screenshot of one of those slides. So Now I've got 39 contracts. Okay. And although it says $2,900, I didn't actually pay $2,900. All I've ever put into this is $100. If you introduce people when they buy contracts, you receive commissions, and I use some of my commissions to buy these contracts. I also use some of my commissions to buy contracts for my son, both my sons, my wife, some good friends of mine, brother-in-law, sister-in-law. Okay, because they don't believe me about BitNext, so I'm going to prove it wrong by saying, "Look what you could have had if you'd have only just listened to me." But I'll probably give it to them anyway because I'm that sort of guy. So you can see here the last profit was 0.1%. Last profit on average across all of my contracts was 0.1%, which means that today I made $1,199. Considering I only started with $100, that's not bad. Last week, so where are we now? We're on Wednesday. So last week, up until Friday, I believe, I made $6,700 profit. And last month, we're in November now, so in the month of October, I made $21,778. Now, the thing is, you can't touch that money until the contract matures, then you can have all of it, you can do with it what you like. So my total stake balance earning for me every day is 1,343,092 as of about now, really. So with all the contracts I have, the 39 contracts I have in place, all the loan money, plus all of the profit that's been made on those, imagine taking 1.3 million of your money and staking it at 0.1% per day. Okay, so that's why I'm making $1,200 a day in profit. Okay, I'm not going to go through any of these strategies because I realize I've been talking a lot, but you can see there's plenty of strategies to do that you can just get your head around. You haven't got to follow any of my strategies. If you want to talk to me about it, I'm quite happy to show you how to set up different strategies based on what you want. But you can see that there are different things you could do to make different amounts of money, either as a one-off payment or as an income, a small income, a medium income, a large income, every lifetime income. How would you like to be making 1.8 million per year, starting with $100? Okay, so an ongoing income after 3 years of 1.8 million. You can give money to charity, starting with $100 in 3 years' time. In 6 years' time, you could be giving away 10 million. Where are we? 3 years, 352 people would each receive 35,000, and you'd receive $1 million in commissions from helping those 352 people. Or in this case, it's the same amount. You put $100 in, but you only help 35 people. And you receive, so they receive $500,000. All 35 of them receive $500,000 in 6 years' time. And you'll get 1.5 million as a result of helping 35 people. I think that's pretty awesome. So you give money away and you get money back. The fastest growth is buying packs of these contracts, so either the 2 year or the 5 year. And in this example, I've talked about the 2 years. So you put $100 in strategy one, and in 2 years' time, you got 21,000. Then you buy 1,000 packs of contracts, and you enjoy the remaining 16,000. And after 2 years, you'll receive 1.6 million. And then you buy from the 1.6 million, you buy another five packs. So I've gone into 3 years for some reason. Yeah, I think that's wrong. I think there should be 2 years again. So you buy 5 DeFi Hybrid 24 packs, spend the rest of the 1.6 million, because you can only buy a certain number of contracts. You can't buy $1.6 million worth of contracts. And then after 3 years, you'll be receiving 2.6 million per year, which you've got to make that 2.6 million last. Oh, sorry, no, that is right. That's for 3 years. And so every year you get 2.6 million, which is going to last 3 years until your next lot mature. So your income will be nearly 900,000 per year. Okay, so not the wealthiest, but I think most of us could, if we cut back our lifestyle a little bit, we could probably struggle by on 900,000 per year. And it would take you about 30 minutes every 3 years to set this up. Then you walk away, come back in 3 years' time, take the money out, buy some more contracts, and walk away for 3 years. So it's a very, very low maintenance operation. In your landing page, you'll be able to see this video, the completed contracts, 400,000 withdrawal. Okay, there's the link. If you want to pause the video now and write that down, you can go and look at it. If you use this phrase, your wallet ID, you'll still be able to go and look at it. But don't register. When you're there, don't register. Get the referral link or get that link off of somebody who's shown you this or introduced you to this so that you register in their group. If you use this link, you'll register to the company and they will just allocate you to some random person who may or may not be in a position to help you. And why should they benefit from helping you when somebody's actually gone to take the time and trouble to introduce you to this platform or to the video that you're watching now? So just do the decent thing, get the link from the person who introduced you. So that's BitNext. For Alio, we have an AI trading bot, and Octavia AI is the brains behind the outfit. She's the AI engine. And when they first loaded this up, I was actually part of this. I was working with these people when they set this up, and the amount of data that they fed her to get her up to speed and get her off the ground was phenomenal. It took her almost 10 days to ingest all of the data to do with so basically she monitors 243 cryptocurrency pairs, and they input all of the data, every single transaction, second by second transactions for the last 5 years for 243 coin pairs, plus all of the financial reports, the government reports, the Federal Reserve reports, the jobs reports, just everything to do with the whole economy of the whole world, weather reports, disaster relief, just everything got fed into Octavia. It took 10 days for her to absorb all of that. And then she still said, okay, what I'd like is I need this information. Can you sign me up so that I can get all the Federal Reserve bulletins every time they get released? Every time the president of the USA says anything at all about cryptocurrency, I'd like that it all fed in. So she still receives huge amounts of data, and all of that goes to help her make decisions about what currency pairs to buy and sell. When she's made a decision, then she passes it to, sorry, I was going to say, transfers all that data to Veralio. And Veralio is actually a trading platform that was set up to run manually about 7 or 8 years ago, I think. Certainly a number of years ago, long before AI. But there was so much data that needed to be processed before making a trade that the people who designed it put it on the shelf and only came back to it when AI became more prevalent, hence Octavia. So Octavia places the trade, so it sends the information to your Veralio account, and your Veralio account places the trade in your exchange via the magic of API keys. And then when the trend is coming to an end, Octavia reverts the trade back to your base currency. And different exchanges have different base currency, whether it's USDT, whether it's USDC, whether it's US dollars itself. Okay, so that's the currency. When you're in that currency, technically you're not in any trades. I know you are. Those of us who know about trading know that that's actually with crypto, you're never out of trading because you're always holding one coin or another. Not like in forex trading, where when you close that trade, your money reverts back to your base currency in your account, and you're not in any trades. It's not the same with crypto. So if profits were made from that trade, your Veralio account pays for the service. So you put some money into your Veralio account to pay for the profits, the profitable signals. And it's typically 10%. So if you make $100, then they'll take $10 out of your account. As well as making trading profit, then you will also receive 7.5% of the profit made by the people that you've introduced, and the people they've introduced, you will receive 2.5%. So this compensation plan goes down 2 levels. And that accounts for the 10% that they're paying. They're actually paying for you to have commissions. So it offers security because your funds are in your exchange account. You know, when these platforms go down, if you still got money left in the platform, and that could be a perfectly legitimate thing, your strategy might be, I'm going to leave my money in that platform because that's how I'm going to grow my funds. I'm going to compound. I'm going to make it a bigger fund. Well, if something happens to that platform, all of your money that you've been saving up, that's gone as well. If something were to happen to Veralio, that can't happen. The worst you can lose is your Veralio account, $100 or so, and all of your funds are in your exchange account, BitHarvest, sorry, Binance, Coinbase, Bitfinex, Kraken, that sort of thing. Okay, so you can choose the account based on your degree of trust in that account. You might say, well, I don't like Coinbase because it's a British company, or I do like Coinbase because it's a British company, so I'm going to do that. Personally, I think out of all the exchanges we'll have available, I think you should have three different accounts, three different exchanges, because you never know what's going to happen. And exchanges have been known to fail, not recently, but they have in the past, and they've been shut down by regulators. In some cases, it's they managed to fight it all off and adapt and change and come back online, but it takes years. So if all your funds are tied up for 3 or 4 years, while a case is going through the courts, that's no good for you. Have 2 or 3 exchanges working for you. So there's complete transparency on the trading, and you have complete control. You can pause the trading if you want to from your back office. You can shut down that trading bot completely. You can withdraw your funds from your exchange account, whatever you want to do. Nobody can tell you what to do. It's your money, and you have complete control. And you can get started with as little as $100 in your trading fund and $100 in your Veralio account. Now, if anybody else asks, we're getting started with $5,000 in our trading account because in order to set up a Veralio account, anybody else would have to set it up with $5,000 trading. Okay, we can get away with less, so you could start with 1,000 or 2,000 if you want to. And all I'd say is I'm going to ask you to allow your profits to accrue within your exchange account and not withdraw until you have over $5,000 in your trading account. Now, you could do that or not do that. Nobody can force you to do anything. I'm just saying that we've got this agreement with the people that run Veralio that we can get started for a less than $5,000, but we have said where we can, we will allow that to accrue. If you have a sudden emergency and you've got to take all your money, of course, you've got to do that. Nobody's going to decry you for that. But we'd like a commitment that, if at all possible, we're going to let those funds accrue. I think I've flogged that one to death. Okay, so now we come on to e-estate. And e-estate is the latest addition to our portfolio. It's only been around since, I believe it's been around a year now. It's just celebrated the first year anniversary. It's a next generation platform for real estate, and it allows us to make investments in real estate. I've got a background in real estate. I got involved in real estate in 2008, and I spent weekends away on training courses. I took out a loan against my house to get some money together to put as a down payment to then get buy-to-let mortgages, or rental mortgages, as you call them in the States. And then we had to pay somebody to get us some tenants. We had to pay somebody to look after the property for us because it was a long way away. It was the other end of the country. Even the ones that were local for us, it wasn't worth my while jumping in a car and driving down there to change a light bulb when I could pay somebody else to do that. So so real estate is a great business for making money, but it's had inherent problems for many years. E-estate takes care of all of those problems because you just buy a share of a property, whichever property you like. When you go to buy it, it will tell you how much you're going to make per day, per month, per year. For on an ongoing basis, it will tell you exactly how long it's going to take you to make your money back. And then that's it. You don't have to do anything else. That part of it is completely passive. So, for example, you buy $1,000 a share of a house, and the house allows you to get paid a certain amount every day, so that after 6 months, you've recouped that $1,000. You've been paid that $1,000 back. Well, that house is going to continue to pay you at that level for the first 18 months. Okay, so you'll make your money back three times in that case. Now, the worst case scenario, some of the very cheaper properties are uh, has a return on investment of 9 months, but some of the bigger ones, I mean, we're talking, uh, a huge amount of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they have a return on investment of 5 months. So, with something in the middle of 1,000 of say a 6 month return on investment, then you'll get that money back three times. Then at the 18-month period, it falls into something called the passive earning phase. As far as I'm concerned, it's all passive. The company calls that first 18 months, they call it the active phase. But for me, it's all passive because it doesn't require me to do anything. I put my money in, I receive my money every single day for the first 18 months, and then it falls into the passive period where you get paid a 10% yield every year. So you get two 5% yield payments every 6 months, 6 months apart, which is great because it means before you get to that point, you've already received back enough money. You could have bought two more properties. And then from those two properties, you'll be able to buy four more properties. And for those four, you can buy eight. And so this just keeps on going. And all the time you're doing that, you're making good money on the front end. And in the back end, then you're building up a portfolio that's paying you 10% per year. There's also, the government's just introducing a buyback scheme. So at some point, they'll say to you, we want to buy back the property, and whatever they buy it back for, you'll have made a profit. Also, at a later stage, you'll want to get rid of the profit anyway, so you'll get paid for that. And there's also some properties now available where you don't go into this 18-month period. They've bought the properties, or they've bought the developments, I should say, for the sole intention of developing them and selling them. And at the point that they sell them, you will then be entitled to a share of the profit. Okay, so everything that you could want in real estate is all available through e-estates, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. You don't need to spend your whole life doing it. It's a few minutes a day. So it's based on fractional ownership. I think I've got ahead of the slide quite a lot. This is tokenization, digitized real estate. And through the e-estate website, you can purchase as many of those tokens as you want. You could buy the whole property if you want to. You can get involved as a seller, a buyer, or an agent. Most people won't even think about being a seller simply because the property company, Eli Property Group Incorporated, they have people out there sourcing properties for us. They've just added a new property. I think they added a new property yesterday to the portfolio. I've written it up in the Telegram channel under e-estate. So they've just added a new one. So if you have a property and you want to sell it to them, it would have to meet certain criteria. So most of us won't ever be in that position, but most of us will be in the position that we want to buy property. If you're going to buy property, I suggest you want to be an agent as well. You need to be an agent in order to introduce people. But even if you're not going to introduce people, but you're going to buy, you may as well buy from yourself and earn your own commissions on your own purchases. So if you're going to be a buyer, become an agent first and then buy your property. If all you're going to do is buy, that's fine. You'll be signed up as somebody else's client, and they will get the commission from you buying your property. That won't affect you one little bit. So buyers earn passively from their real estate investment, and agents they do that as well, but they earn commissions from the purchases of their clients. And buyers can be can be agents. The agent must pay a small subscription for $9 a month, and agents have a referral link, buyers don't. Transactions are written in smart contracts. They run on the Binance Smart Chain. You can see the contracts on the blockchain. When you go to buy or to purchase part of a property, you have to sign a contract. It's a legal contract. So if something were to happen to e-estate, you still own that part of that property. You have a legal contract showing your ownership. Okay, so it's all legal and compliant and above board. There's so many regulations in the real estate industry. It's got to be compliant and above board, or it just wouldn't get off the ground. Eli Property Group Incorporated has been around doing this for about 50 years. They've not gotten involved in tokenization before. They set their tokenization stuff up just to deal with e-estate. Okay, the token is pegged to the physical real estate value. It's not a token that's available on exchanges, because that would mean that it would fluctuate with the price of Bitcoin or the price of dollars or whatever. Okay, what we want is that token to be worth about, so we want that token to be worth $10 worth of the property, the value of the property. And imagine that we tokenize the property and we make it worth 200 tokens, and I buy 100 of those tokens and I buy them at £10, and then the price changes and you have to buy the other 100, but they're not £10 anymore, they're £1,000. That's not fair. So we need to make sure the token is the same price for everyone. As soon as the value of the real estate has been converted into tokens, that's it fixed for the duration. So that's why we use that. It's not a token that's available on exchanges. But it's, that's why we don't have the prices in Bitcoin or Ethereum or dollars, because that changes all the time. So as you earn profits, you can hold your EST, which is smart, or you can buy more property with it, or you can convert it to a bunch of cryptocurrencies and you can withdraw instantly. As soon as you have your EST, you convert it into your e-wallet in the back office. That takes about 10 seconds to do. Then it has to be signed off and authorized by somebody. But as soon as that's in your e-wallet, you can withdraw it. It doesn't need anybody's permission to withdraw from your e-wallet. When you deposit, it's about 50 different cryptocurrencies you can deposit in. Send it to your e-wallet if you're making multiple purchases from one deposit, or as you go through the process of buying a property, you have the option of pay from your e-wallet, or you can choose a cryptocurrency to make the payment. So when you purchase property, you're awarded a certain amount of ETK, again, an internal token. And ETK is how you get rewards. You get rewarded for lots of different things to help you progress your career, if you like, as a digital real estate agent. And you can spin the money wheel. My wife did it again a couple of days ago. She's made far more money on that than I have ever. So I like it. I just let her do that. It also keeps her involved in the things I'm doing, which is always a good thing. Okay, and even just logging into the platform every day, you get 31 ETK every 10 days. So you can earn great profit. So typically you'll get your investment return within 7 months, but of course the bigger properties, it's quicker. Larger properties cost more to buy into, but they attract a larger daily return. And after 18 months, the property moves into the passive phase where you earn 10% per year. And you can either choose to take your profits to your wallet, or you can reinvest, in which case, if you set up auto compounding, then you end up with a bigger share of that property. For example, I was saying earlier about you buy a house for $1,000, you're going to get back, I don't know, let's say you're going to get back $10 a day. You could auto compound, and so after day one, you actually earn $1,010 of that property. So you get even more money. And so you put that back, and after 2 days now, you've got $1,020.50. And then put that, and so every day you own more and more and more of that property. So by the time the 18-month period is up, you probably own 3 times or 4 times as much of that property as what the money you first put in. But of course, it doesn't give you the flexibility to take your money out to spend it. It doesn't give you the flexibility to choose a different property with your next purchase, but it does. Auto compounding is really, really good if that's what you want. And I do some of both. I'm not going to go into this anymore. You can get commissions, you can become a real estate agent, get a certificate, you get a customizable landing page, you receive commissions, deal commissions, profit commissions, bonuses, and rewards. An agent benefit, deal commissions, profit commissions, agent bonuses, 10 levels down, revenue share bonuses from levels 3 to 8. And e-token rewards, you can spin the money where you can earn anything from nothing. I've never known anybody win nothing on a spin. That would be very demoralizing, I think. All the way up to $1,000. And typically you get around $1, $1.50, $2. Like I said, my wife the other day, she got $10, got $5, got $2. So it's all real money. It goes into your e-wallet. You can withdraw it and spend it. I'm not going to go into this anymore because of time. There's special offers available. So there's always one special offer. Since I've been involved, there's always been one where you can actually get involved for $10. Um, the only reason I recommend people do that is if they're not sure of the system and they just want to check it out, see how it works. But nobody's going to get excited about making 4 cents a day. But if you auto compound, of course, then by the time the property goes into the passive phase, you've got something like $35 invested in that property, not just the $10. Okay, and it's a great opportunity to deposit some money, purchase a property, get your investment back within 7 months. Continue earning at that level for another 11 months and receive 10% of your initial investment per year for the rest of your life. In fact, that's not true. It's not your life, for the rest of the life of the property. As you know, properties wear out. At some point, then that property will be disposed of. When it's disposed of, you will get a share. Not only will you get your profit, your money back, but you will get a share of any profits. I suppose there's a potential for making some losses, but that's not the name of the game, really. But you'll get that money back at the end of the lifetime of the property. This fits our criteria because you can get, so when I say we, I mean wealth warriors, because you can get in for a very low amount, build up your asset base over a long period of time. Also, imagine you make, we were talking just now about BitNext making hundreds of thousands of dollars. What are you going to do with it all? Why not buy some properties in here? And so now your money is working for you again. That's the very definition of capitalism. Get your money working for you. Okay, and you've got irons in different fires. So that would be a smart move. Properties are safe as houses. That was funny when I first wrote it down. That's not strictly true. Under the old real estate system, or I should say real estate isn't as safe as houses. Property is, but real estate isn't as safe as houses. But using all the benefits of the e-estate system, it's just brilliant compared to traditional real estate businesses. Okay, so there are the 5 platforms we've got adopted at the moment. BitHarvest we didn't discuss. I'm not quite sure of the time because I don't have a clock in front of me anymore. So I'm just going to touch on Uchain. Uchain is a business that I got involved with a while ago. I did it reluctantly, but it's a good business and it makes a lot of money for people. It's like I say, it's something I got involved with. I didn't really understand it, and it kept changing. And I don't like things to keep changing, particularly when I'm looking for things for our community. I want to be able to train people once. I don't want things constantly changing. Because if we have 6, 7, 8 platforms and everything's changing all the time, that's just, I don't want a job. I'm trying to get rid of a job, and I suspect you are as well. Okay, and that's what would happen if we keep getting involved in things that keep changing, then it's just another job. So where we have these criteria, one of the things we look out for is that you can do 2 things. One is you can get involved, put some money in and make some passive income. So it takes no time or effort. And also there's a lot of wealth warriors who that's all they want to do is just make passive income. And then the second thing is we want to be able to introduce people to make some commissions. So that's the 2 things. Everything above and beyond that involved in all these platforms as they add different things in, add their own MasterCard business, as they add their own, I don't know, games or whatever else it is. Okay, not interested. We just want to have passive income and be able to build a team and make commissions. Okay, and Uchain wasn't in. I didn't find it was suitable for that. It certainly wasn't suitable for wealth warriors. It didn't meet our criteria. However, it's recently changed. It can't change to the point where it's suitable for wealth warriors, but it is a good business in the sense that if you want to put some money in and make some passive income, you can do that. And I mention it because we have somebody we're working with, John, who is a great advocate of Uchain. And if you wanted to get involved in Uchain or just talk about it, then he would be the person to talk to. Um, and I'm not sure if John's on the call. If he is, I'll point him out to you at the end. So Uchain operates a trading bot, and you buy the trading bot, and it returns a multiple of your investment before it needs to be renewed. So if you buy, for example, there I said $110, you buy that trading bot, and when you got back, I think it's 2.5 times your $110, maybe 3 times your $110. That bot's all used up. You then have to buy another one. Now, you might say, well, that's not as good as not having to buy another bot. But bear in mind that most businesses are not in the position where you pay once and you get paid out forever. There are some, but most businesses you have to renew a subscription or renew your bot or renew your trading account, whatever it is. Okay, so don't let that take away from the fact Uchain is actually a good profitable business if you go about it the right way. So you can buy different size bots all the way up to $11,000. Typically, I would say $1,100 is the entry point if you want to see a meaningful return. Like I said about the property just now, nobody's going to get excited at making 4 cents a day. But if you're making $10 a day on 1,000, or $12 a day on 1,100, whatever the earnings are, you can see that you can get excited by that. You've made $12. Okay, now Kinesis money. And I apologize, I still don't have the video. I phoned the guy today and I will phone again tomorrow. We had a Zoom call with Michael, I'm sorry, I forgot his name now, it doesn't matter, Michael Barrett of Kinesis, lives just up the road from where I live. And we had this Zoom call, we recorded it. He said something, or he showed something on the screen that he shouldn't have showed completely by accident. So he's not going to release the video until he's edited that out. It was only about 3 or 4 seconds. I was kind of hoping he would have done it by now. It's been 2 weeks. So I haven't got the video that I can post and share with you. But you'll see Kinesis Money is a tremendous system. I've looked at lots and lots of different banking or so-called online banking systems. None of them are suitable for what we want as wealth warriors. This one is. We're going to need sophisticated ways of accessing our money. And this is really the best one that I've seen ever. Your Kinesis account can belong to you as an individual, or you can have part of it or all of it controlled by your private estate. That's awesome. A private trust would belong to your private estate. And Kinesis has a worldwide footprint, so you really can be a citizen of the universe. For example, you imagine you've taken wise advice, sage advice, and you bought a load of gold. Okay, but for some reason now you find you have to leave your country. Now, if you're in the UK or America, hopefully you will never be in that position. But people have done this for hundreds and hundreds of years. They get to the point where the government wants to do something to them. They've got to run. They've got to flee. Okay, you can't take your gold with you because you'll get stopped at the border. You can't take piles of cash with you. The most you can take through customs is $10,000, £10,000 in the UK. Okay, any more than that would cause all sorts of questions. They would probably confiscate it anyway, just for the fun of it. Okay, so there's a limit to how you can move your money around. Well, no problem. You have an account with Kinesis and you can access that from anywhere in the world. And if it's in your private trust, then it can't be controlled by any government. They can't freeze the assets just because they don't like you. So you can really become a citizen of the universe. And that's really one of the key things I was looking for when I was looking for a banking system. Everybody says, like, oh, well, private offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands or in the in Switzerland or whatever. That's fine, but there are certain rules under which they will seize your assets. They will not let you have access to your assets, okay? Not necessarily at the behest of the government, but you don't have the control over those that you think you have. You can make deposits and withdrawals in any fiat currency, any cryptocurrency, and several different precious metals such as gold, silver, platinum. There's a partner reward program where you can earn between 10%, 20% based on your partner's transaction fees. Now, with banking systems, I don't see a banking system like this as a business. I've seen some banks where they do have some sort of compensation plan. I don't think that's right. If we're helping you build a real estate business, then yeah, we deserve commissions. But if I'm just recommending a banking system to you and you get involved, if I were to do that with my current with my Barclays bank, they say if you introduce somebody, we'll give them $10 and we'll give you $10 or $50, whatever it is. That's fair game. Okay, and so that's what this reward program is more akin to. It's not the same as a commission system in a business. It's just a reward for introducing people. It's just on that first level, the people that you introduce, every time they make any time they pay any transaction fees, you earn 10% or between 10% and 20% of their transaction fees based on some criteria in your own account. And it pays you commission in gold and silver. That's cool. Can't wait to get paid commissions in gold. And you can also move the value of your fiat money, your cryptocurrency, and your precious metals onto your MasterCard and spend it in the high street. So this answers the question, well, how do I spend my Bitcoin? How do I spend my gold? Okay, yes, I've got all these different gold coins, big ones, small transactions, big transactions. Now I've got to find somebody who's prepared to accept the gold without ripping me off, of course. Well, here I've got it. I just tick a box, and that box says, when I spend money on my MasterCard, take it out of my gold account, my gold holdings. Okay. And then when that's gone, use my Bitcoin, and when that's gone, use my pounds, and when that's gone, use my euros. Okay, you can set up a list of 6 priorities, or not set it up and just say every time I spend money, it's from my silver, for example. So it's an incredible system. When you spend on your MasterCard, you also earn gold and silver in cashback. They have their gold and silver independently audited twice a year, and you can spend it on your MasterCard. So that's the end of all the different platforms. There will soon be a registration system for wealth warriors. This is something that I've investigated, I've planned, I've spec'd out. The only thing I'm debating with is going to be very, very expensive. I mean, massively more expensive than I expected. And I'm trying to justify the cost of that. Particularly if you know what's happened with BitHarvest, it's a consideration. You can't just spend money you haven't got. So keep an eye out for this. I may be able to do it, I may not. I may actually write it myself. I've never written, so I've written a little bit in Python, but not a huge amount. But I'm pretty sure I can put something together. You can get a BitNext landing page by taking this link and add your own BitNext wallet in place of your wallet ID in this link. So if somebody follows this link now, it wouldn't be registered to anybody, and if they sign up, they'd be given to the company. Whereas if you put your wallet ID here, instead of your wallet ID, actually put your BitNext wallet ID there and give that to somebody. They'll go to the landing page, look at all the information. When they decide to sign up, they'll sign up in your team. And this is free to everybody. Our upline has made this available to us through ultimatepassiveprofit.com. They've made that available to all of us just because we're part of their downline, which is pretty cool. And then in e-estate, in the back office, there's a customizable landing page. And again, you give that link out to people, they go there, they can read so much information about e-estate, about you, what a wonderful person you are, just lots and lots of stuff. When they then hit the button to say, I'm going to register, they're registered in your team. So there's marketing materials, chat groups, PDF documents, videos, prospecting scripts, and so much more available in BitHarvest. There's a dedicated Telegram channel for that. BitNext, this is a boards page, if you like. And on this boards page, there's just everything in that paragraph above, and a lot more besides. Matrix Freedom, you just go here and register as a member, and you've got access to all the information you could possibly need. Moralio doesn't have anything like that, but it has a trusted advisor system. So you go into your back office, click on support, and put in a message for trusted advisor. Negotiate a price with the trusted advisor, typically around $100 or £100, and somebody will be able to help you with whatever problem you're having. An e-estate has an information hub in your back office, videos, documents, everything PDF documents, just everything you could want in order to build your e-estate business. There's also lots and lots of videos on all of these different things available. When you join any of these platforms, then get added to the Telegram group, and we'll keep you updated with all of these different things that are available to you. So we are building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We're not interested in just having one leg on our milking stool. In fact, 3 legs isn't good enough. We want 6 legs, 7 legs, 8 legs. We want so many legs that if 2 or 3 legs fall off, it doesn't bother us one little bit. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term, as far as we can ascertain. And as you know, we can be wrong. We only work with companies that are above board, as far as we can tell. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is. So if it's real estate, we want to have a lot of real estate. If it's staking contracts, we want to have a lot of staking contracts. Okay, whatever it is, we want a lot of it. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered. And lots of people get upset with me because the pet project is obviously very important to them. And it may even be great, been paying them money now for the last year. If it doesn't meet our criteria, it's pointless pretending it does. We're just not interested. But having said that, as I said with Uchain, I will quite happily write up the fact that we've looked at a business, it's a good business, people are making money, but it's not suitable for wealth warriors. So I don't say no, never. I'm quite happy to recommend businesses that I believe do work, but they're not suitable for wealth warriors. Very few are. We apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We're not at the mercy of any one company or any one platform. It's our life, it's our future, it's our destiny, it's our wealth, generational wealth and personal wealth. We don't want to be beholden to anybody else. We're making the rules to suit ourselves, not just going along with whatever we're told in any particular platform. Platforms come and go, but we don't. Wealth Warriors is here to stay because communities are here to stay. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share your password or other credentials with anyone. Sometimes if I want somebody to look at my site, my back office, I will change my password to ABCD1234, okay, and then they'll do what they're going to do. Then they give it back to me. They say, "You're finished doing that," and then I change password back to what I wanted to be. Okay, so apart from that, I don't share my passwords or other credentials with anyone. I certainly don't do things like use AnyDesk or that sort of thing. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what it is, Google it, find out, make sure you know how to set up 2FA and then set it up. The reason I'm not so hot on 2FA is because it's the only protection you have against your account being hacked or your money being stolen. Now, the company provides information, a username and a password, and maybe even a verification that gets sent to your email or something like that. And that's brilliant. But if that site gets hacked, and many, many, many sites have, not only these but big organizations, government departments, newspapers, huge corporations, all get hacked. Okay, so don't rely on the people running these platforms to take care of all of your security. Set up your 2FA, then you're in charge of your own security. And nobody that can't be hacked. If they get hacked, but you haven't given up your two-factor authentication, then your money is safe. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Write it down. Keep it safe. And make sure the executors of your will, your living will, your power of attorney, or your beneficiaries have access to this information in the event of your incapacitation or death. The worst thing that could happen, of course, is you're incapacitated, and so now you need all that money for your medical bills, and nobody even knows you've got any money, and you can't tell them. Okay, so that would be crazy. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters in our own lifetimes. Get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They are ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network of contacts, and create immense personal wealth. With that, I'm going to stop sharing. We'll go back to the room, and I will allow everybody to unmute in just a few seconds. Okay, so anybody who wants to can unmute themselves, and I didn't hear from Becky, so I assume everybody got pretty much all of that presentation. With that being the case, I'm now going to switch my video back on.
Excellent.
Sorry, Dave.
I said excellent.
Do you like that?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It's a good thing though. It's a good thing there wasn't anything that happened because I ended up muting myself. I didn't know that when I hit mute, it went back on permanently. So I couldn't have done anything about it, even if you had screwed up.
Okay, so the best laid plans of mice and men. Okay,
Yeah.
well, listen, guys, if nobody's got any questions, I'm going to stop the recording.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.